Greetings, friends. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Thank you for your time. I want to talk with you about a topic that so many people have been asking me about, all or nothing dieting, and how to best deal with it. So I'll describe what all or nothing dieting is, how we get stuck in it, what the deeper meaning behind it might be, and how to finally liberate yourself from this unwanted pattern. I'm always fascinated by how so many people describe themselves as an all or nothing dieter. In fact, what I want to say is when people identify themselves in this way, they often give a smile of recognition and they speak about this pattern with certainty, meaning those who are all or nothing dieters truly know how much they're ingrained in this habit and they acknowledge that it's likely been a very intimate part of their lives. All or nothing dieters describe themselves in this way. They're either completely on their diet or completely off of it. More specifically, when they're on their chosen diet, they are following what's usually a strict, well-defined set of eating rules that they don't deviate from. But as soon as they break even one of their own food rules, they swing to the complete opposite direction and they completely cut loose with food. Most often, there's an internal dialogue that goes something like this. Since I just broke one of my food rules, then to heck with it all. Might as well break all of them. I'm just going to live it up. I'm going to party hard. I'm going to throw all my dietary rules out the window. Let's dive a little deeper than that. All or nothing dieting has its roots in the part of us that wants to be the archetypal good boy or good girl, and the part of us that actually enjoys being a bad boy or a bad girl. This pattern of eating is symbolic of these complementary yet sometimes conflicting parts of our personality. Now, for sure, there's a part of us that wants to do the right thing, to eat in what we think is the right way, to follow the good girl, good boy food rules. Good boys and good girls, they tend to get the gold stars, right? They get an A+. We win the approval of others. We're shining examples. Good boys and good girls can do no wrong. And yet, there's this other part of us that wants to break the rules. Bad boy, bad girl archetypes love being bad. This part of us rejoices in being a rule breaker. When you're young and breaking rules, you remember it feels exciting. What's more, when we're doing our all or nothing dieting, the all in part is really about eating the good foods, while the part of us that goes all out is about eating the bad foods. But here's the irony of life. The foods on our bad list are invariably the fun foods, right? The sugar, the coffee, all the kind of sugary drinks, the gluten, the pasta, the pizza, the chocolate, the donuts, whatever it is for you. It actually pays in a certain way to be the bad boy, bad girl when it comes to dieting in this way because it's just more fun. So all or nothing dieting on one level is the constant shifting back and forth between these two archetypes or personas, good girl and bad girl, good boy and bad boy. The problem is, no matter which archetype we are in of these two, we're functioning with a child's mind. So in essence, all or nothing dieting is a childlike or childhood strategy that ultimately does not work for us in the adult world. Can you see how we stay locked in the child's mind, the child archetype, regardless of if we're being the good girl or the bad girl here? So when the adult voice or the adult mind in us comes into play, we realize that all or nothing dieting, it's an ineffective strategy that we know always fails. You know this because if you do it, you're likely still doing it. This is one reason why all or nothing dieters often feel blindsided when they go from all in to all out. The adult in us temporarily looks on and can't believe what's going on. The adult in us feels like it has no control, actually because it doesn't. We've given our decision-making power over to the boy or the girl in us, not the wise, mature human. What makes all or nothing dieting patterns so hard to get out of is that not only is the bad boy, bad girl part taking over, but it's also the voice of the rebel in us, the part of us that doesn't want to be told what to do. And it's also the voice of the pleasure seeker in us, the part of us that, hey, just wants to live in the moment and just enjoy life and celebrate. Now, these are all vital aspects of any healthy human personality that has to find some kind of self-expression. All or nothing dieting is also fed by the part of us that wants to be perfect. More specifically, the perfectionist in us. The perfectionist in us wants to do everything so perfectly that we're above all criticism and that we're above being mere mortals because we're so perfect. The perfectionist in us thinks that being perfect is a virtue, where in reality, the idea that we can be perfect is actually a toxic, viral belief that leads to pain and suffering. Perfectionism is often found at the root of our eating challenges, our body hate, our incessant self-attack, and our constant silent self-criticism. The voice of perfectionism ultimately harms us. It's truly a soul assassin. Now, many all-or-nothing dieters are forever stuck, check this out, because their definition of perfect eating is impossible to sustain and may even be biologically and nutritionally unsound. This is a really important point. The perfectionist in us deeply believes in its nutritional and dietary assessments. The perfectionist in us is fervently sort of like religious in how it sees the world. Example, what I've noticed is that many all-or-nothing dieters are people who deeply believe that they must eat, for example, very low fat, or very low calorie, or very low pleasure foods, or 100% raw food diet, or no sweet foods whatsoever. These are just some examples, but I think you get the picture. These approaches are bound to fail. A fat-free diet, for example, or an extremely low-fat diet will cause the body nutritional harm and trigger binge eating or overeating as a way to correct a core nutritional deficiency. Eating a diet too low in calories will do the same thing. So we're literally setting ourselves up for predictable failure by inventing an impossible to follow nutritional approach that we believe in like it's a holy religion. And then we feel blindsided or upset with ourselves for not being able to stay on our diet, even though we're the ones who put those impossible to succeed dietary rules there in the first place. Hope you're following me. By the way, chances are, if we are all or nothing with food and diet, we're likely using the all or nothing strategy in other parts of life. Examples, either I'm committed to taking care of my body or I trash my body. Either I listen to my body or I avoid its signals altogether. Either I'm paying attention fully or I check out in my conversations with people. Either I'm committed in my relationship or I abandon it. I either give my full energy at work or I just disappear and check out. So a good question to ask is, are there places in life where you're all or nothing in your approach other than just with food and diet? So here's the way to break through. I find that all or nothing people always have this one important lesson to learn: finding a middle path, inventing a new alternative to all or nothing, an alternative that includes elements of both. This means letting go of our outdated dietary beliefs of what we think all in should mean. So instead of saying to yourself, I'm either eating no sugar whatsoever or I'm gorging myself on it, how about including a small amount every day for a dessert? Instead of saying no fun foods ever, how about including your favorite ones that you know you're going to eat anyway, include it in your diet once or so a week? Instead of saying no gluten ever when you know you're going to have some, schedule it into your meals in some way. And of course, watch out for all perfectionist approaches to diet that set you up for failure. I hope you're seeing, my friends, that letting go of all or nothing dieting is a self-graduation, okay? It's a conscious act of choosing to mature ourselves. It's literally deciding to say goodbye to an old and outdated way of thinking that does not work for us. It's acknowledging to ourselves that our strategy, all or nothing, will never lead us to any kind of promised land. So it's a reckoning. It's letting go of just a dearly cherished ideal of what we believe perfection is. It's choosing a new path, a more balanced and thoughtful way. I hope this was helpful.
Hey friends, we're so happy that you've joined us for another episode of The Psychology of Eating with Marc David. Are you loving these episodes? Then simply subscribe and you'll never miss an episode again. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a comment below so we can hear more about your own journey with food and body. And if you're curious about what we offer at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, including our internationally acclaimed coach certification training that's rooted in dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition, please head on over to our website, psychologyofeating.com. Until next time, take care, and remember, having the body you want starts with loving the body you have.